Welcome back to Prep for Calc. What did we learn about yesterday? I don't remember. Did we do Prep for Calc yesterday or not? Did I run out of time? I don't remember. Oh my gosh, I think I ran out of time. No, I don't think I did actually. Law of sines. Law of sines is basically how you solve for side lengths you don't know when it's not a right triangle. What is a non-right triangle? I'm gonna turn this shit off. Essentially, the side length A divided by sine of the angle A equals side length B divided by the sine of angle B equals the side length C divided by the angle sine, or the sine of angle C. And then we learned how to solve quadratic equations that use square root, using square root of problem, square root equation, square root property. This is basically where, square root equals plus or minus a real number, because a real number squared, a negative real number squared is a positive, and a positive real number squared is positive. Whew. All right, I'm gonna jump back in, continue learning, and I'll be back to recall what I learned in a little bit. It looks like I'm now 1/4 of the way through of the new topics that I've been learning. I've learned 21 topics out of 84. So the two new topics that I was introduced to today were basically writing an equation of a line similar, or line parallel and perpendicular to a specific given line that goes through a certain point. So really this was basically, you take the slope, and if it's parallel, you keep the same slope and you write y equals slope x plus b, plug in the x and y of the points that it goes through, find b, and then write that equation. Now, for perpendicular, if you grab the slope from the original equation, what you do there is you write the negative reciprocal. So you basically, if it's a fraction, flip the fraction. If it's not a fraction, you put 1 over the number, and you also make it negative, or you negate it. If it was negative, you make it a positive. And then do the same thing with the plugging in the x and y points. Now there was one other thing we learned today, and now I'm not recalling it. Was not radical expressions, not rational expressions. Was it trig? I don't think so. Geometry, definitely not. Lines and slopes. That was this. There's another lines and slopes. Logarithms. It was basic properties of logarithms. So basically, log a m plus log a n is the same as log a m times n. So that's a logarithm of product. Logarithm of a quotient, log a m divided by n is the same as log a m minus log a n. And then product, logarithm of a power is essentially log a m to the power p is equal to p times log a m. So that's going to do it for new things today. We completed one other learning topic, and then we did a practice problem graphing a circle, given that it's in general form, putting it in standard form and graphing it. Law of cosines, or law of sines problem, did that, and then there might have been one other problem, but I'm not recalling it now. It was basically like a word problem with a linear function. So that's it. It was finding a third equation, or a third function. So third equation essentially, given 2 points on a graph. You got to find the slope, and then you find the b, then you can plot the point on the line. So that's it for today. Talk to you tomorrow. See you.